Hello and welcome. I'm Sonal Kapoor. This is 5 Live. What are the 5 stories we've got picked out for you today? We'll take a look at Bihar, where it's inching closer to the final date and all the lists and candidates seem to be coming out by the hour. We look at the latest in cough syrups. What is it that the doctor who was in custody, he has to tell the authorities there? Number 3, we look at the KBC fiasco. Now, is it Big B versus the big brat kid? What exactly led to a moment like that? What can we learn? Then we've also got our eyes on green crackers. It could be a possibility very soon if the Supreme Court takes away. But what exactly are green crackers and what are we expecting in the days to come as AQI, air quality, is already hitting about the poor category? And then, of course, for all you salaried employees like you and me, what are the new PF rules that we must keep in mind for especially this upcoming Diwali bonus month? We'll bring you a wrap up on all of that. First up, let's take a look at what else is making news at this hour. Amid an ongoing deadlock in Bihar's ruling NDA, Bihar BJP has released the first list of 71 candidates for the assembly polls. Now, while the list features both the Deputy Chief Minister, Samrat Choudhary, and Vijay Sinha, the party has dropped the Assembly Speaker, Nandkishore Yadav, from the Patna Sahib seat, which, by the way, is what he represented since 2010. The medical student in the Bengal Durgapur gang rape case was allegedly raped after being dragged into a jungle by 3 men. India Today has accessed the victim's police statement, where she details how the accused threatened to call more men if she screamed. So far, 5 people have been arrested. Then a first-year B.Tech student at Delhi South Asian University has alleged that 4 men sexually assaulted and tried to gang rape her in a construction area on campus. The student alleged that the 4 accused tore her clothes, touched her inappropriately and tried to rape her. The cops have now registered an FIR. Attempt to gang rape charges also added. Then there is a hijab row that has erupted at the CBSE school in Kerala, run by the Latin Catholic Church. The school has been shut down for 2 days after a Muslim student allegedly said that she was asked to remove her hijab at the gate. The principal cited mental stress and staff absenteeism as reasons for the closure. Back on founder Majumdar-Shaw has highlighted the poor state of Bengaluru's infrastructure after an overseas business visitor reportedly expressed shock at the city's road and also open garbage. The Karnataka Industries Minister there, MB Patil, rebuked Biocon chief Majumdar-Shaw for flagging bad infrastructure in Bengaluru, asked her to take up some work under corporate social responsibility in her neighborhood. As BJP and Congress spar over Karnataka Minister Priyank Kharge's RSS ban call, the leader says that he has been receiving threats and abuse over the same. However, the Congress leader has asserted that he will not back down and has questioned why children of BJP leaders are not joining RSS shakhas. Then there's a story coming in from BRS. The BRS working president KT Ramarao, along with senior party leaders, submitted a representation to the chief electoral officer in Telangana, highlighting large-scale irregularities, duplicate entries and fake votes in the Jubilee Hills Assembly constituency, where by-elections are scheduled on the 11th of November. He's accused the Congress of misusing power and official machinery to influence the outcome. The video of the young KBC contestant's behavior sparking controversy even as days are passing by on that one. A heated debate is now breaking out on social media. The young Ishid Bhatt's conduct on KBC 17 has received sharp reactions online. While some have criticized his overconfidence, others have questioned parental guidance. The question really is this bad behavior or is this simply bratty behavior? Meanwhile, Pakistan's psychophancy on full display. Pakistan Prime Minister has got heaps of praise on Donald Trump at the Egypt Peace Summit, calling him a man of peace and even backing him for the Nobel Prize. Now, Shehbaz has credited Trump for stopping war between India and China. India and Pakistan also, beg your pardon. Mohammad Shami versus Ajit Agarkar the controversy has escalated. Indian pacer Mohammad Shami takes a subtle yet sharp dig at the Indian team management over his fitness status after being left out of India's ODI and T20 squads for the upcoming tour of Australia. He says, if I can play Ranji, why can't I play the ODIs? All right, first up, the battle for Bihar is heating up. The Bharatiya Janata Party has unveiled for its first list of 71 candidates for the upcoming Bihar Assembly elections, leaving 30 seats yet to be announced. Now, they could be announced anytime during the later half of the day as well. Now, according to the list, Deputy Chief Ministers, both of them, Samrat Choudhary and Vijay Sinha, will contest from Tarapur and Lakhisarai respectively. BJP has fielded 9 women candidates in the first list as well, and this comes amid a deadlock over seat sharing and a larger share being given to Chirag Paswan's LJP. Now, not just the NDA, even the Mahagathbandhan is facing difficulties, not with the political arithmetic, but with the chemistry that they have with their own alliance partners. According to sources, the tussle between the Congress and the RJD over key assembly seats in Bihar has only escalated, with neither side willing to blink. Now, what does this mean? This means that the Congress is unwilling to carry the baggage of the losing seats and has set its probable tally to 61-63. And the major sticking point, however, is that the seats Congress wants in its kitty. While RJD agreed to sort of fulfill Congress's demand of 61 seats, it refused to part with the certain constituencies which they are, of course, very confident about. The contestant seats, clearly in this case, are Kahalgaon. It is also Vari Saliganj. All right, but that's the overall picture here. Let's also try and understand what are the big questions as of this point emerging from the state of Bihar. And let's throw them up on the screen for you. Now, by fighting on 101 seats each, the JDU is it really conceding with big brother status of the Bharatiya Janata Party? Now, we all knew that it was going to be equal, but it's not happening over there. So the big question really is it conceding big brother status of the BJP? Number 2, the question that we've got for you is 48 hours to the deadline, right? 17th is when they have to lock it in. No sort of MGB seat deal yet. Is the opposition unity under threat then? So much of conversation around that. Why haven't we heard of that just yet? Remember, it could well change by the time we get on with the story, but that's the status so far. And number 3, the question that we're asking is, with smaller allies driving hard bargains, is this an election really of only kingmakers? Is that what it's really all about? All right, but more developments coming in from Bihar in the NDA seat sharing talks. Now, according to sources, the BJP has managed to placate Manjhi and Kushwaha, who were reportedly upset. The BJP is considering giving 1 additional seat each to Manjhi and Kushwaha, and both of them now, party is likely to sort of field candidates on 7 seats each. So that's the big one. There were a lot of questions, a lot of public statements also made on how they were not very happy with BJP on this one. So that's the update we are getting in at this point. Rohit Singh joins us for more on this. Rohit, like I've been saying, this is not just a story of political arithmetic. There's a lot of alliance chemistry that seems to be going on both sides over there. Just about 2 days to go or barely hours to go before the list actually comes out. What is the balance that the BJP is striking? Then I'll come to the Gathbandhan then.
Well, see, it's been a tough day, in fact, for the entire NDA today, and almost for the last 1 week, we saw how hectic negotiations are taking place, how Chirag Paswan has been upping the ante on the BJP, and finally, when the seat sharing issue was resolved a couple of days back, then came Jitan Ram Manjhi and Upendra Kushwaha really sulking that they have only got 6 seats each, and they were in fact not happy with the fact that Chirag Paswan has got so many seats. And then came the other factor about seat distribution. And what we came to know from early morning today, that Chirag Paswan had laid claim to several sitting seats of the JDU. And that in fact did not go down very well with Nitish Kumar also, and Nitish Kumar in fact had to call an emergency meeting today afternoon to discuss this entire issue. And there were also some few seats of the BJP, where the BJP has a stronghold which Chirag Paswan had wanted. So Chirag Paswan in fact was keeping the JDU on its toes and also the BJP. But now finally it seems that the BJP has managed to placate Chirag Paswan, and now Chirag Paswan is not staking claim on any of the BJP seats. All the seats which he had wanted is back with the BJP, following which the first list of 71 candidates has been released by the party, and soon we are expected that the Janata Dal United may also release its first list. But Chirag Paswan in this entire NDA has been in fact the biggest gainer also as far as the seat sharing is concerned, but has almost kept Janata Dal United and most importantly BJP really troubled over seat distribution issue.
Okay, so Rohit, as we're inching closer, we are getting some answers, and perhaps we'll get that in a few hours from now. But one of the big questions that we raised here, and I wanted to get your opinion on that one, with smaller allies driving in so much of bargain, with the big brothers actually worried this time and not being able to sort of perhaps flex their muscle in the same way as they would in, say, a state like Maharashtra or Uttar Pradesh. What do you think is happening in this election? Has it become largely about who will be the kingmaker? Is it become about original each party scorecard versus, who wins really?
Well, see, as far as the alliance partners in the NDA is concerned, the 3 smaller players, Chirag Paswan and Jitan Ram Manjhi, they claim that they have the Dalit vote bank with them. Upendra Kushwaha, on the other hand, claims that he is a tall Kushwaha leader. But it's not that all these 3 small players have given any sort of a headache to Nitish Kumar. But they have really made life miserable for the BJP, because remember, when the seat sharing was going on, all the negotiations were going on, it was the BJP who had to take care of these 3 smaller players, because it's the BJP who is in alliance with all Chirag Manjhi and Upendra Kushwaha. And each of them, whether it's Chirag, Manjhi, Kushwaha, they were in fact trying to portray that they are the bigger player, they are more important, they have more vote bank with them. Chirag Paswan going to the extent of saying that
Rohit,
they had 100%
can I
strike
interrupt for a minute?
So
Can I interrupt for a minute only to sort of draw everybody's attention to the pictures that are coming in on our screen right now? That's Maithili Thakur, a very popular face in Bihar. She's been a YouTuber, she's a folk singer, she got the Influencer of the Year award here in the center by the Prime Minister as well, and is obviously now being fielded by the BJP. Now that entire press conference is unfolding. Rohit, can you talk to us a little bit about what's happening? A lot of times we see celebrities jump into the fore, but she's got the Thakur card, she's very famous as well. Tell us a little bit about the constituency that she's fighting from.
Well, see, Maithili Thakur is not only a YouTuber, but a famous folk singer also, and known very well in India and also internationally. And a few days back, she had met Vinod Tawade and Nityanand Rai, and the pictures of this meeting went viral, which in fact triggered speculations that was Maithili Thakur even contemplating jumping into politics, and will she be contesting the Bihar Assembly elections? And soon, in fact, a few days later, Maithili Thakur in fact confirmed to India Today that she was keen on fighting elections. If she was given a ticket, she would love to fight elections on a BJP ticket. And today it's official that she is now taking the poll plunge. She is joining politics. She is joining BJP as I speak right now. She is at the BJP state headquarters in Patna, and she is joining the party. And what? Yes, very much. She will be contesting from Alinagar Assembly constituency in Darbhanga district of Bihar. That is what our sources are telling us, that Maithili Thakur is not just joining BJP, but she will be contesting elections. And very importantly, just 2 months back, she has she has completed 25 years of age, which is that minimum requirement for becoming a MLA. So after that, you can see it's a coincidence or what, but now that she is 25 years old, she is taking a poll plunge, she is joining politics, she is joining the BJP, and all set to fight elections from Alinagar seat.
Right. Tell us a little bit more about Alinagar, Rohit. She has, like we say, all the ingredients. She's popular. She is somebody who's a people magnet. Her rallies will clearly need no more star power. She's the star pretty much herself. She has the Thakur name as well. Why Alinagar then? And who is she largely going to contest against?
Well, see, BJP is banking on her star power. That's very simple. And when you have a powerful star like you can say a Pawan Singh or a Maithili Thakur, then the caste combination of a particular assembly does not become very important because that celebrity in herself or himself is so big that she catches everyone's attention, and she garners votes of also across the section of the society. So Maithili Thakur in fact is a big name in Bihar. She is known nationally, internationally also for her folk songs, the Bhojpuri songs that she sings. And that is why the BJP is now banking on her, and perhaps what I believe that she is the only celebrity right now in Bihar who has taken the poll plunge, and she will be contesting from Alinagar seat, and the BJP would be hoping that she wins from Alinagar seat, which is a seat in the Darbhanga district of Bihar. Back to you.
All right. So there's more development coming in. Rohit, stay on with us. There's more news coming in, this time from the opposition camp. Let's look at that now. All right. So even before the Mahagathbandhan seat deal could be made public or consensus could be reached within, one of their key allies has already released their first list of candidates. CPI-ML has now released the first list of 18 candidates in Mahagathbandhan. Rohit, what does that tell us?
It tells us that this time how closely these elections are going to be fought in Bihar. And it's been 5 days now, and you can see that no major players have in fact filed their nomination for the assembly elections. In fact, it's only Anand Singh, the Bahubali from JDU, who has today filed his nomination. None of the BJP candidate has filed his nomination other than Anand Singh. No one else from the JDU, no one from the Mahagathbandhan camp also. And as seat negotiations are still stuck in the Mahagathbandhan, no progress being made, what sources are telling us. Amidst all this controversy in Mahagathbandhan also, we see that CPI-ML, which is one of the major alliance partners of the Mahagathbandhan and one of the parties of the Mahagathbandhan with a super strike rate. Last time they won 12 seats out of the 19 they had contested. And so we are seeing that when the entire Mahagathbandhan has still not reached any consensus about seat sharing, the CPI-ML has now started distributing symbols, and today it has released the list of 18 candidates also. So this clearly goes on to show that there was trouble in NDA camp also, and similar is the situation in Mahagathbandhan also. But the Mahagathbandhan right now seems to be lagging behind the NDA, because the NDA finally somehow has now managed to placate everyone. The seat sharing is done. The seat distribution is almost complete. The first list of BJP has also come out, but the Mahagathbandhan till now has not been able to finalize the seat sharing formula also. So as far as this entire issue is concerned, the Mahagathbandhan at moment seems to be lagging behind the NDA. And,
Right.
and let
But
me
Rohit,
remind you
what's
one
the
more thing.
roadblock
It's
there
only 3
with
days
the-
more left for the nominations to end. For the
Right. 17th is the last date, right? So what is the roadblock then of the Mahagathbandhan seat deal?
Yes.
The tussle between RJD, Congress, other smaller players as well. Where do you think the roadblock really is? What is it that you're trying to sort out now?
Well, there are several roadblocks. The Congress is not in a mood to relent. Mukesh Sahni of the VIP is not in a mood to relent. And that is what is really causing the entire problem, because Congress party this time is very, very adamant that their numbers can come down, but they want those seats where they have a strong footprint, where they are very strong. The winnability factor is very, very important, and the Congress believes that there are at least 55 to 60 seats where the Congress can win elections, and that is why based on that they are targeting those seats where they think they are strong, and the RJD is really not in a mood to let go of those seats. So that is one of the stickling points, one of the bone of contention. And
Okay.
as far as the VIP is concerned, Mukesh Sahni continues to remain one of the most unreliable leaders of Bihar, and Tejasvi Yadav also not relying on him, because what Mukesh Sahni is wanting a declaration that whatever happens, whatever if Mahagathbandhan government comes to power, if at all it comes to power, any number of seats that VIP gets, he must be made the deputy chief minister. Now this is a declaration that Mukesh Sahni is wanting from Tejasvi Yadav, and Tejasvi Yadav is in no mood to make that declaration, that if suppose VIP gets only 3 to 4 seats also, Mukesh Sahni wants that the deputy CM post should go to him. So there are a lot of issues, a lot of points, and a lot of roadblocks as far as the Mahagathbandhan seat sharing formula is concerned. But what is more important is the fact that the days are now in fact going away.
Yep. Not much time left. Yeah.
Because it's only 3 days left for the nomination to end for the first phase, and still the seat sharing formula is not out. The first list or the second list of any of the parties of the Mahagathbandhan, that is RJD and Congress, the main players.
All right, it's
are
going
not
down
out,
to the
and
wire. It's going down to the wire on both sides, and interestingly, let's see where it actually goes. Rohit, thank you so much. Interesting times ahead, interesting month ahead for you as well, as all of this unfolds in Bihar. All right, let's move on and take you to the other big story that we are tracking, and we've been tracking it non-stop right here on 5 Live. We keep our focus on the killer cough syrups and the crackdown in the case. Let's tell you the top developments on that story today. Now, days after Dr. Praveen Soni, if you'll remember, the pediatrician in the Parsai Community Health Center in Madhya Pradesh was arrested in the Coldriff case, the police told the session court the doctor has allegedly received a 10% commission from Shrisan Pharmaceuticals for prescribing the cough syrup, later found out to be toxic. He has been denied bail because of that argument. In other development on the cough syrup story, the Food Safety and Drug Administration of Uttar Pradesh has significantly intensified its effort to combat the circulation of substandard, spurious and misbranded medicines across the state. Over the past year, the department flagged more than 850 drug samples that failed to meet the safety standards, marking a critical push. But what happened to that? Was there any action taken on it? That's what we remain to see. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has issued an alert against the 3 substandard oral cough syrups in India. We've got those names for you here on 5 Live. Let's repeat that. It's Coldriff, it's Respi Fresh on your screen over there, Respi Fresh TR, and Relife, and has urged national regulatory authorities worldwide to immediately notify it that if any of these are detected in other countries, their usage should also be stopped. Meanwhile, ally versus ally over cough syrup deaths. The Congress MP Karti Chidambaram has questioned the Stalin government, asking how the killer cough syrup got approval from the state drug controller body. So politics over that obviously continues. Right, the other story that has been on our minds. What happens when a young contestant from Gujarat appeared on KBC? If you haven't, let's give you a quick snapshot. A young contestant appeared on KBC, Kaun Banega Crorepati. The episode wasn't about prize money or applause that made headlines. It was about the behavior and rather the attitude of this little kid. Now, I hate to put that kid out and isolate him. He's just a child. But this entire debate compelled us to take up this issue. His sharp responses, many are calling it rudeness towards a legendary actor and also the host, Amitabh Bachchan, of course. Now, that his behavior, what he said, ignited an entire firestorm online. Within hours, social media turned into a battleground of opinions. The child is being trolled mercilessly, of course, and his parents are being dragged into the crossfire. Let's first listen in to what is it that has started and sparked off this entire debate. So what was that? Was it overconfidence? Was it bad behavior? Was it bad parenting? At the end of the day, he's just a child. Every time he made those remarks, you saw what the audience did. They clapped, they laughed, they thought, "Bachcha hi to hai." And at the end of the day, we are also not trying to troll him. We're not trying to ask questions against the child. We're just trying to understand what this controversy is all about. Is it fair to blame a child or their parents? Here are some of the big questions that we've got on the program today. Now, do modern children actually lack respect, or are they just more vocal? Is that a point? Another thing that we had in our mind, can rude behavior in kids be part of normal growth? Should we discount it? Then the important one, can overconfidence in kids be a sign of anxiety perhaps? Is there something, is it their shield of some sorts? And then the question, is parenting the biggest influence on a child's behavior? Should parents be blamed for a child's public behavior over there? Well, that's what we're asking, but let's get in our expert now. Joining us now is Harpreet Singh Grover. He's the founder of The Curious Parent. He's done a lot of research on parenting, has a very popular Instagram and YouTube handle as well. Harpreet, I really don't want to discuss this story. I feel like एक बच्चा ही तो है, गलती है या bad behavior है या जो भी है, we shouldn't be trolling him. At the end of the day, kids are a product of what they see at home, perhaps circumstances. Parents are also a product of what's happening around them. But this one has got people talking to perhaps understand that, was it projected at Mr. Amitabh Bachchan? That's my first question to you. Was this bad behavior just projected on screen? Or do you think the way he's acting out, it's just his regular, everyday personality?
I think first thing I want to say what you said earlier again, that the first time the child was rude, what did everybody do? They clapped.
Yeah.
So before we blame a child, before we judge a child, we have to see as society what behavior we are encouraging. If I was the 10-year-old in that seat, and if I do something, everybody claps, I am bound to do it again. I have no way to know what the real nature of the child is, right? There is just not enough information. I do know that being rude, whether it is against Amitabh Bachchan or against you or me or against...
But it is rude according to you. It's not overconfidence. This is rude behavior.
I think we are getting caught up in words. We want to categorize this as either rude or overconfidence, like we do with a lot of things, categorizing them as right or wrong. That is what you're looking at, right? Rude or overconfidence, wrong or right. And I want to say that choices have consequences. And if the child behaves like this, or anybody behaves like this in a normal world, it will have consequences. That is how I see it. Now, I also see that if you consider the child like a plant, right? Now, if you have a plant in your house and the plant is not growing well, what do? Do you start blaming the plant, like social media is doing all over, that this child is rude, oh, this child is so and so? Or actually, we need to help the plant. We need to take that pot, move it to sunlight, give it more water, and help that plant. That is what is required.
But You know, there are a lot of theories emerging online, Harpreet, and one of them is that Amitabh Bachchan got clearly ticked off by this child's behavior. There is a scene where the way he's answering, he looks at his producer probably or looks at somebody who's from the show. And then the next question is particularly a hard one, where he gets it wrong and goes back home with no money at all. So the entire thing, I'm not saying I claim to know what really happened, but this clearly seems to be the case, at least in this episode. You also see the parents there, very unassuming, regular middle class parents, no? मतलब उनके घर में क्या हो रहा होगा? क्या वो अपने घर में encourage कर रहे होंगे? अरे हमारा बच्चा तो gifted है, क्या है? उसको सब पता है. Is that the fault of parents to sort of take a lot of pride and let the child know that they are good at something? Is that something we should be careful about?
I think what you're talking about is privilege, whether it comes in the form of knowledge, whether it comes in the form of having a car or a BMW. You know, they're both essentially the same thing. And if we become proud of something that we have or something that as parents feel our child has, then yes, we can encourage this sort of behavior. If I was the parent and if this behavior was regular, I would find a way to talk to the child about it. That is for sure. You know, from the little bit that I saw, the parents genuinely seemed like nice people. And I would also want to add one more thing. You know, I don't know whether all of this is scripted for TRPs, whether the child was given that you have to speak like this. I have no idea. None of us have any idea, right? And I can also
could be the case.
Sorry?
Who knows?
Actually, you might
I'm
know
saying,
more.
who knows? Could be the case. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can tell you that before coming for this show, because you told me a couple of hours ago that is going to happen, I actually went to Sony Live and I saw the entire piece. And, you know, the video circulating online make it look more rude than it actually was. The episode is slower. You know, it's like a stream of water is going and suddenly we put the video in 5x, it becomes a flood. So that is also something I think all of us which get access to so much of social media should be careful. But I fully agree with the first point you made, which is, you know, this is a child. This child has his full life ahead to change, and this child is product of the genes and the environment, these two. So whether there is something in the genes which makes the child more out there, we don't know, or it is because of the environment that the child has been given by the parents, we don't know. Or is it the TRPs? We don't know.
We don't know. But Harpreet, last question then. For any parent watching this right now, to say, हमारा बच्चा तो ऐसा नहीं करता, हमारे बच्चे ने ऐसे करा होता तो हम तो बिल्कुल ठीक कर देते. I don't think a lot of people even realize which path the kid is on, because we all look at our own kids with with tinted glasses, no? We look at our kid as so much out of love, out of affection, as a piece of us. It's hard to find faults. But if somebody did spot, what would be your learning, what would be your takeaway from this episode?
For a parent who's watching this?
Yeah.
I'm saying let's assume that the child behaves like this normally in their daily life. Then I would say that this child, and if your child has any such negative behavior that you feel as a parent is negative, your child is 10 years old, I want to tell you that you have still you have a lot of time to be able to change this. Choices have consequences. If you let the child go on this path, the child will find out much, much later the consequences of the path that you have allowed the child to proceed. I also want to tell that if your child is young, the younger the child is, the easier it is to course correct. So if you know, whether it is picking your nose to whether it is, you know, twirling your fingers to talking like this to hitting somebody else, all of this, just by ensuring the child is not overstimulated, not seeing too much screen, getting enough sleep, getting enough outdoor play.
Yeah.
If these three things we can ensure, you know, that is enough for a child.
All right. Harpreet, thank you so much for joining us. I wish I could just go to the parents right now of the kid and give them a big tight hug, say ki all is not gone wrong. The world is against you and your family right now, but there is always a way in which you can course correct. Not everybody is perfect, and there's always a second chance over there. So after years of bans, the Supreme Court seems to have opened up the doors just slightly for firecrackers in Delhi this Diwali. But not just any firecrackers. The court could potentially allow green crackers under tight restrictions. So what are green crackers and can they really help clean up Delhi's toxic air? So we thought we'll tell you a little bit about them. Here's our explainer. Now, green crackers are redesigned firecrackers that emit fewer pollutants than traditional ones. They contain reduced amounts of harmful chemicals like barium, aluminium, and also include additives that suppress dust and smoke. Scientists from NEERI, for example, claim that these crackers can reduce particulate pollution by about 30 to 35%. While they are considered safer, experts also caution that they still release ultra-fine particles and sort of gases, meaning they are less harmful, not harmless. That's the bottom line here. Let's also now look at how are these green crackers different from your conventional firecrackers. We've got a couple of comparisons over there. Okay, number one, on chemical composition. Now, conventional firecrackers contain higher levels of harmful metals. I already pointed them out. It's barium, it's potassium, it's nitrate, aluminum, all of them. Green crackers, on the other hand, use reduced amounts of these metals, so a reduced amount of aluminum content maybe. But when it comes to pollution, let's look at the next one. How exactly do they fare? Conventional crackers release a lot of particulate matter, nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, heavy metals. Green crackers cut the particulate matter emissions, claimed to be by 30 to 35%, producing much less smoke. But let's get into the dust and smoke a little bit then. Regular crackers have no additives to reduce these, but green crackers claim to include special additives to suppress dust and make the smoke less visible. What about noise? Well, noise levels are also a big difference. Conventional crackers can get very loud, obviously, we all know it, often exceeding safe limits as well, while green crackers are designed to produce lower noise and reduce noise pollution as well. But burst duration and intensity, that's the critical one. Traditional crackers have longer, more intense bursts and heavy sparks, whereas green crackers often have shorter bursts and controlled flame intensity. Another point there is that conventional crackers contain materials that produce heavy ash when burned. Green crackers eliminate these ash-producing ingredients, resulting in less litter as well. Finally, certification. Conventional crackers don't require any environmental certification. Green crackers are certified by bodies like NEERI, by PESCO, and to meet sort of pollution control standards. They claim to be meeting them, but of course there are a lot of fakes out in the market as well. To top it off, green crackers include dust suppressants to further reduce particulate matter. So what's the catch here then? Well, the catch is that scale matters. Even if each cracker emits less pollution, widespread use could still overwhelm the system, erasing the environmental gains altogether. Delhi's background pollution, remember, the level basic pollution, even as we speak today, is already quite bad. Delhi fails during this time of the year when weather patterns trap sort of pollutants close to the ground, and all of us are already in the poor category if you don't know it already. Enforcement is a key risk as well. Without strict checks, non-certified or fake green crackers could easily enter the market. So what's the bottom line? Green crackers may offer a compromise celebration only if it is implemented with caution. But whether they bring joy or just more smog will really depend on how well the rules are followed and how strictly they are enforced. Because remember, Delhi is really holding its breath, quite literally, on this one. Let's bring in our experts now to talk about whether or not green crackers work and what to expect as well in the coming days. With me is Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist and CEO of Green the Map, and Bhavreen Khandari, member of Warrior Moms. Warrior Moms is actually now petitioning in the Supreme Court as well, asking for not to allow green crackers altogether. But Vimlendu, can I get a big picture? I just laid out the difference between the two. The key really is how many of them are being burst, and importantly, who's actually looking at the labeling of the green crackers. Are they really as green as they claim to be? Like we said, only 35% less. Can Delhi survive on those green crackers if all of them were supposed to go green?
No, I think the first thing that we need to understand is that what's the baseline. And therefore, as you know, when we talk about firecrackers in Washington, D.C., green or non-green is very, very different from firecrackers in Greenland, or for that matter, therefore, firecrackers in Delhi NCR, whose baseline is already really, really pathetic when it comes to air quality, right? As in, we're talking about today's air quality when we haven't had the stubble burn, the smoke come in as yet. The winter hasn't really arrived, and still it's moderate to poor. And these are the government monitors that we're talking about. And imagine what is going to happen after 10 days when we will have so-called green firecrackers, which by the admission of the government itself is only less polluting by 30%, or and the other way around to look at it is that it still pollutes 70%. And imagine on any given day, these firecrackers in all the last 5 Diwalis, so to say, if you look at the WHO report, it says that the air quality index of the PM 2.5 and PM 10 levels on the night of Diwali, it reaches 20 to 30 times worse than the permissible limits. Most of the ICUs run out of a hospital bed. Children and elderly are admitted in the hospital. And then we still think that our right to faith or right to religion is more important than Article 21, which is right to liberty, life, clean environment, and so on and so forth. As in, year after year, we have been talking about it, and with really abandoning our scientific acumen, with regarding our regard for forget the environment for a second, and we're not even talking about being green warriors or environmentalists and concerned about the romance of our clean air. It's just a matter of public health. When your city is in ICU, do you actually treat your city with more toxins, 30% less or 40% less? How does it even matter? And I feel so outraged and disgusted by the fact that this entire movement for clean air. By the way, say no to firecrackers movement has been going on for many, many, many decades in that sense. One. Two, it has taken a lot of advocacy and work, advocacy in terms of talking to people in power, including people in the government or the Supreme Court for that matter, and also a lot of effort that's gone on the ground to educate the citizenry. And suddenly we've seen the Supreme Court in its own wildest imagination trying to monkey balance this entire deal by saying, oh, well, it's okay to blast firecrackers for 4 to 5 hours. As in, what is Supreme Court even thinking
No,
by just because of the political
to be
environment,
fair, Mr.
just
Jha,
because the
Supreme Court
political
hasn't
environment
passed
is
an order.
charged,
Supreme Court hasn't passed an order just yet.
but
It was one
almost
of the
has indicated, if
observations
you
that
look
had
at
said, and they haven't
absolutely,
done
but
it. The Delhi
and
government actually
therefore I
approached the
think
Supreme
therefore it
Court to
is
say
very
that you should
important,
allow green
Sonal,
crackers.
and therefore I'm just forewarning the judges if they're watching this program or listening to the lungs of our children, that fine, but they had the courage or miscarriage of justice to make those observations, to even think that let's look at 4 to 5 hours, and to fall for this trap called green firecrackers, where there's something called, is the most oxymoronish term that we've ever heard, called green firecrackers. And by the way, we're not even talking about child labor. We're not even talking about the business lobby involved. As we all know, there are at least 100 reports that you'll read of who makes these firecrackers. And we talk about Ramji and all our gods. Do you think gods would like our children to live 10 years less because they want these toxic barium, aluminium, sodium, lead firecrackers to be blasted for somebody's glory? You want your child, I know you have a child, I have a 4.5-year-old child. Do I want my child to have asthma because Ramji will be very, very happy? And by the way, firecracker ban was not only for Diwali. Firecracker ban was for
All year
Bakrid,
round.
is for year round, and therefore it is not anti-Hindu. It is for liberty to live and our children's right to breathe clean air. And I'm not saying that Diwali is the only reason why our children and our elderly or you and I are not breathing clean air. As in, there's a miscarriage of governance. There's a fractured understanding of air pollution, and very little, so less, and so delayed and so pathetically governed excuses that we've seen when it comes to air quality governance. So Delhi anyway is so polluted. Delhi's air lasts so months. As in, today's headline was that, oh well, since June 21, pehli baar gandi hawa hui hai. And I was on a show a couple of days ago when BJP government said, oh well, look at our performance. No, it's weather gods that's made the rain, the extended rain that we had. So, Aam Aadmi Party, be it BJP that is in power, and not just about Delhi. We're talking about the airshed. We're talking about North India. We're talking about sort of, Sati was a part of
Mr.
our
Jha,
system,
I
of our faith.
totally understand your sentiment, and that's why I have not interrupted you even for a minute when you said all these things. You want to say one more thing, sir? I want to give Bhavreen also one point. I'll come back to you, sir. Just bear with me. I've heard you out at length. I was just looking at the pollution meter while you were speaking. He's actually absolutely right. We are 264 already, so we are already in the poor category as of now. Bhavreen, the argument really is that, you know, the kids don't even get to understand what firecrackers is all about. The argument is of experience versus health. How are you going to justify that in court?
Yes, I guess, Sonal, we are all parents here. How does it feel when, a mother is actually walking up and down with a wheezing child all night, or rushing a child or elderly person in the house to the hospital? These are repeated. I mean, our feeds in our social media are full of such examples where people are desperate. They've said something, actually between you and Vimlendu, you've really said everything and very articulately that there's really nothing to add in technical terms. This is the Article 21 of the Constitution, and the Supreme Court themselves have always repeatedly held the right to clean air as a part of the right to life. Now, allowing green crackers, like Vimlendu just elaborated, that when you would you go back to your house and ask that someone that you fed the child, and somebody says, no, yeah, we did today, we gave less poison. How would you react? Now, it's as simple as that. Are you willing to take less poison for a child? And it's about every emission. We are not, none of us here are speaking only about crackers. We are working, probably we have dedicated our lives to every source of emission that we are working. The trolls can come and do and say anything they want, but our past records show that. So it's about every, when it's green crackers, you're still, there's PM, there is toxic metal, there's gases. The Supreme Court in, the Arjun Gopal versus Union of India, when it was came in 2015 and then 2018, they themselves, when they permitted green crackers, they clearly said it will be taken up only if it's enforceable. And the court also said that if the enforcement failed, the ban would revert. And which happened, subsequently.
But enforcement on complete ban is also not applicable. No, year after year we see no firecrackers all year round, but we still hear them. On Karwa Chauth we heard it. Every time there's a match, there's IPL, every time we hear it. So clearly enforcement is out of our hands. So clearly to top it up with green crackers, I have to say I agree with both of you, is clearly not the wise thing to do according to environment. But we'll see how that case actually pans out. Not very long to go. We barely have days. So we hope that the Supreme Court will be able to take a strict call on this just before that. Thank you both. Running out of time, but I promise we'll come back to this story. We'll come back to this story and we'll keep tracking it in the days to come, and especially after Diwali as well. Thank you both for joining us. All right, let's turn our focus to a story that matters to all you, all people who are salaried employees like you and me. Now, members of the EPFO can now breathe a sigh of relief as the organization has allowed full withdrawal of PF balances. What does that mean? So, until now, full PF withdrawal was permitted only in cases of unemployment or retirement. So, what will this mean, especially in this Diwali bonus month? Take a look. This report will clarify.
In yet another big push for financial reforms, the government has simplified the process of withdrawal from Employee Provident Fund. The Central Board of Trustees of EPF organization has announced major steps to benefit over 7 crore subscribers of the scheme. These changes aim at simplifying withdrawals, cutting litigation, and leveraging digital technology, all geared towards making your EPF account easier to manage and more secure. First up, partial withdrawals have been simplified by merging 13 withdrawal categories into just 3: essential needs, housing, and special circumstances. What does this mean for you? Easier access to your funds when you need them, with less paperwork and hassle. There are some big departures from earlier policies, giving you more power over your money. Withdrawal limits have been liberalized for big life events like education and marriage. Now you can withdraw up to 10 times for education and 5 times for marriage, a significant increase from the earlier combined cap of 3. A key safeguard to protect your retirement savings has been introduced. 25% of your EPF balance will now be logged in at all times. This ensures your money keeps growing with EPFO's attractive interest rate of 8.25%, helping build a stronger corpus for your future. The timeline to fully withdraw your EPF balance after a job loss has been extended from 2 months to 12 months. Similarly, final pension withdrawal can now only happen 36 months instead of 2 months after retirement. This, the government says, protects your long-term financial security. Another member-friendly move. Under special circumstances, you no longer need to specify a reason to withdraw funds, a major win against claim rejections that plagued many subscribers. A new Vishwas scheme has also been announced to reduce long-pending litigations on penal damages amounting to over 2,400 crore rupees. The scheme cuts penalties to a flat 1% per month with graded rates for minor delays. It covers all pending cases and aims to ease legal burdens on subscribers and employers alike. There's also big relief for pensioners. EPFO has partnered with the Postal Department to deliver digital life certificate services right at your doorstep at no cost. No more traveling or waiting in lines. On fund management, a panel of 4 investment managers has been appointed to prudently manage your provident fund's debt portfolio, ensuring better risk diversification and steady growth of your retirement kitty. As of 31st March, EPFO manages over 23 lakh crore rupees. A majority of these funds are invested in government securities. The funds are also parked in other private bonds, equities via exchange-traded funds and short-term debt. These landmark reforms mark a new era for EPF subscribers, empowering employees with simplified access, digital convenience and stronger retirement security. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.